Let me ask you something. What if your car broke down tomorrow? Or you got slapped with a $2,000 medical bill? Or, worst case, you lost your job next week? For most people, that question triggers instant anxiety. And here's why. Nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. Not because they're irresponsible, but because no one ever taught them how to build a safety net from nothing. Now here's what I want you to do. Before you click away thinking this is another boring finance video, stick with me for just 30 more seconds. Because by the end of this video, you'll have a complete step-by-step plan to build an emergency fund from absolute zero. No matter your income, no matter how much debt you're in, and no matter how overwhelming it feels right now. But here's the catch, and this is what most people get wrong. It's not about saving more, it's about saving smarter. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means. So hit that like button if you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, and let's get into it. Okay, let me map out exactly what you're getting in the next 10 minutes because I don't want you to waste your time. First, we're going to break down what an emergency fund actually is, and the 3 levels most people don't know about. If you don't know the levels, you're probably aiming at the wrong target. Second, I'm going to expose the 4 real reasons most people fail at this, and I can guarantee at least 2 of them apply to you right now. You really need to know what you're fighting against. Third is the core of this video, my complete 5-step plan to build your fund from scratch. This is the actionable part. Open your notes app because you're going to want to write this down. Fourth, the 3 accelerators to speed up the process, probably because you don't want to wait 3 years to feel safe. Maybe you want to get there in months. And finally, the mindset shift that changes everything. This is the part that keeps people from backsliding once they start. Because building the fund is one thing, keeping it is another. Oh, and here's a question I'm going to answer later that you probably have right now. How do I save if I literally have no money left at the end of the month? I'm going to address that specifically. So stay tuned for that. But before we get to the plan, we need to get on the same page about what we're actually building. What is an emergency fund really? And why do so many people get this wrong? Let's talk about it. So let's define it properly because I see this mistake all the time. An emergency fund is cash, actual cash, sitting in an account that you set aside specifically for unexpected necessary expenses. Let me say that again, unexpected and necessary. Not I really want the new iPhone, not there's a sale on flights to Bali, not I've had a rough week and I deserve to treat myself. We're talking about true emergencies, things that if they don't get handled, your life gets significantly worse. Now there are 3 levels to this, and most people skip straight to level 3, get overwhelmed, and quit. Don't do that. Level 1, the starter fund. Let's say $500 to $1,000. This should be your first milestone. It's not glamorous, it's not financial freedom, but it covers the small stuff that usually derails people. A tire blowout, a minor medical bill, your fridge dying, a parking ticket you weren't expecting. Here's why this level matters. It stops you from swiping a credit card. It stops you from borrowing from friends. It stops a $400 problem from becoming a $400 plus interest problem that follows you for months. Level 2. The stability fund, which should be about 1 month of essential expenses. This gives you actual breathing room. If something happens, say your hours get cut at work, you have a full month to figure things out without panic, without late fees, without the stress of how am I going to eat. Next is level 3, the full fund. This could be 3 to 6 months of expenses. It is the gold standard. If you lose your job entirely, you can pay rent, buy groceries, keep the lights on, and make your minimum debt payments for 3 to 6 months while you find something new. Now, here's the part where I need you to pay attention. Your emergency fund should be boring. It should not be in stocks. It shouldn't be in crypto. It should not be. I'll just keep it in my checking and try not to spend it. It should be in a high-yield savings account, separate from your daily money, accessible within 24 hours, if a true emergency hits, but not so accessible that you spend it on impulse. And here's a question I want you to think about. Which level are you at right now? Be honest. Are you at 0? Do you have a starter fund but nothing beyond that? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one and I want to know where you're starting from. But here's the thing. Knowing the levels isn't enough. Because most people know they should save and they still don't. Why? That's what we're tackling next. And I need to warn you, some of these reasons are going to feel personal because they are. Before we get there, if you're finding this helpful so far, subscribe to the channel. I put out videos like this every week. Practical money strategies that actually work in real life, not just in theory. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Now, why do most people fail at building an emergency fund? Let's talk about the 4 real reasons briefly. All right, let's get uncomfortable for a minute. Because if you don't understand why you haven't succeeded yet, you're just going to repeat the same cycle. Reason number 1, they aim too high, too fast. Let's say someone reads a finance blog that says, you need 6 months of expenses saved. They do the math, rent, groceries, utilities, car payment, insurance. Okay, that's about $2,500 a month, times 6. That's $15,000. And they think I have $47 in my savings account. This is impossible. so they never start. They feel defeated before they begin. Here's what I want you to write down. $15,000 is the destination. $500 is the first step. And the first step is the only one that matters right now. Reason number 2, they try to save what's left over. This is probably the most common mistake I see. People say, I'll save whatever I have at the end of the month. Here's a hard truth. There is rarely money left over at the end of the month. Your brain is very good at finding ways to spend money when it sees it. If you wait to see what's left, you will save nothing. Every single time, saving has to happen first, not last. We'll talk about exactly how to do that in the plan section. Reason number 3, they don't protect the fund from themselves. The savings account is linked to their checking. It's right there in the same banking app. One bad day. One I'll pay it back next month moment. One I really need this rationalization. And poof, it's gone. Your emergency fund needs friction. It needs to be just hard enough to access to the point you have to think about it. We'll cover exactly how to set that up in a moment. Reason number 4, they confuse I can't afford to save with I can't afford to save that much. Saving $10 a week is $520 a year. That's not nothing. That's a starter fund. A small fund you actually have is infinitely better than a large fund that exists only in your imagination. Now, I want to pause here and ask you, which of these 4 reasons sounds most like you? Be honest. Is it aiming too high, saving leftovers, no protection, or feeling like you don't have enough to start? Drop the number in the comments. I'm genuinely curious, and your answer might help someone else realize they're not alone. But knowing the problem isn't the same as solving it. So now let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the actual plan. And I need you to pay attention here because I'm going to walk you through this step by step. Do not skip steps. Do not get creative. Just follow the plan. If you're ready, hit that like button right now. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who need it. And it tells me you want more content like this. Now let's get into the 5-step plan. Step 1, find your number. I want you to grab a piece of paper, open a notes app, whatever works. Add up your essential monthly expenses, rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, minimum debt payments, transportation to get to work, insurance, and so on. Not Netflix, not your gym membership, not dining out, not fun money, just the stuff that keeps your life running and keeps you employed. Write that number down. Let's say it's $2,400 a month. Now multiply that by the number of months you're targeting. If you're starting from 0, your first target is 1 month. 1 month of expenses. $2,400. Stare at that number. That is your first real target. Not $15,000, not 6 months. 1 month. And here's a question that might be in your head right now. What if my essential expenses are really high? What if 1 month is still $4,000? That's okay. Your number is your number. We're not judging it, we're just acknowledging it because you can't hit a target you haven't defined. Step 2, open a separate account. This one is non-negotiable. Not your checking account, not the savings account you've had since you were 16 that's linked to everything. A new dedicated high-yield savings account. And here's the key. Open it at a different bank than where you do your daily banking. Why? Friction. If your emergency fund is at the same bank as your checking, you can transfer it in 10 seconds on your phone when you're bored, when you're emotional, when you're rationalizing an impulse purchase. If it's at a different bank, you have to log into a separate app. You have to wait a day or 2 for the transfer. That friction is often enough to stop you from spending it. Name the account, something meaningful. Something like emergency fund or do not touch or maybe my future self fund. Seriously, the label matters. Studies show that named savings accounts have higher success rates because they create psychological ownership. Step 3, automate the transfer. This is the most important step in the entire video. If you do nothing else, do this very one. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your emergency fund. Ideally, schedule it for payday. Before you see the money, before your brain decides it has other plans for that money, start with whatever you can. It could be $10 every paycheck, $25 or $50. The amount matters less than the habit. You are training your brain that saving is non-negotiable, just like rent, just like your phone bill. Let me show you the math. If you get paid bi-weekly, that's 26 paychecks a year. Even $40 per paycheck is $1,040 annually. That's a starter emergency fund built in 1 year without you thinking about it once. And if you can do $80, that's over $2,000. That's approaching a 1-month fund for a lot of people. But here's the objection I know some of you have. I literally don't have $40 extra per paycheck. I'm barely getting by. I hear you, and I'm going to address that specifically in the next section of this video with 3 accelerators that work even if your income is tight. So stay with me. Step 4, use windfalls strategically. Tax refund? Bonus at work? Cash gift from family? Stimulus check? Before you spend a dime, decide a percentage that goes straight to the emergency fund. I recommend 50%. Half to the fund, half to whatever you want. This is how you accelerate without feeling deprived. You're not cutting lattes to the bone. You're not just eating rice without meat. You're redirecting money you weren't expecting anyway. A $1,200 tax refund? $600 straight to the fund. That's huge progress. Step 5. Protect it with rules. This is where most people backslide. They build the fund, then they spend it. Then they have to rebuild it. Then they spend it again. Then it becomes a cycle of frustration. You need to define what counts as an emergency before you have one. Write it down, put it in your notes app, tape it to your wall, whatever works. I mean genuine emergencies such as job loss, medical issues, car repair so you can get to work, emergency home repair that affects safety or habitability. Not emergencies such as sales on something you want, vacation opportunity, holiday gifts, or the I really need to decompress shopping, or emergencies such as helping a friend who could figure it out themselves. I mean real emergencies. And when a real emergency hits, and it will because that's life, use the fund guilt-free. That's what it's for. That's why you built it, then rebuild it. Now I want to check in with you. We've covered a lot. Are you following along? Do you have your number? Have you thought about where to open that separate account? If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's normal. This is a lot of information. But here's what I want you to do. Pause the video. Open that separate account right now. It takes 10 minutes. Then come back and finish the video. Seriously. I'll wait, because doing it while you're motivated is 100 times more effective than bookmarking this and forgetting about it. And if you do open that account, drop a done in the comments. I want to celebrate that win with you, but maybe you're thinking, this is great, but I need to get there faster. I don't have a year. I need that starter fund in months, not years. I get it. So let's talk about 3 ways to accelerate this process. These aren't gimmicks, they work. 1. The 24-hour rule on non-essentials. For any purchase over $50, wait 24 hours. That's it. No complicated system. Most impulse buys die in that window. You wake up the next day and realize you don't actually need it. You were just bored or stressed or influenced by an ad. Redirect what you would have spent. If you would have bought a $60 jacket you don't need, transfer $60 to your emergency fund instead. Do this 5 times. That's $300. 2. Sell what you don't use. This is the fastest way to fund a starter emergency account. That guitar you played twice, clothes with tags still on, old electronics, books you'll never read again, kitchen gadgets that seemed like a good idea. Most people have $500 to $1,000 sitting in their homes and stuff they haven't touched in a year. Sell it on Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, eBay, whatever. Fund your starter account in a single weekend. And here's a mindset shift. You're not losing those items. You're trading clutter for security. That's a good trade. Accelerator 3. Pick one temporary income boost. 1 extra shift at work. 1 weekend of freelance writing, graphic design, tutoring, delivery driving, dog walking. You don't need a permanent side hustle. You don't need to become an entrepreneur. You need 1 burst of cash to get your foundation in place. 1 month of extra effort for years of financial breathing room. Now, here's a question I want to leave you with before the final section. What would it feel like to have $1,000 in an account that no one can touch but you? Not $10,000. Just $1,000. Enough to handle a small crisis without panic. Enough to sleep a little better. Enough to say, I can handle this instead of, what am I going to do? If that sounds good, keep watching. And because the last section is about the mindset that makes all of this stick. Without this, you'll build the fund and then find a reason to spend it. With this, you'll protect it like the asset it is. But first, if you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about this. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. The algorithm needs to know this content is worth pushing to people who are struggling with the same thing. Let's talk about the mindset shift. Here's what I want you to take away from this entire video. And it's not about the money. An emergency fund isn't about the dollars in the account. It's about optionality. It's the ability to say, I need a week to think about this job offer, instead of I have to take the first thing because rent is due Friday. It's the ability to handle a crisis without adding a financial crisis on top of it. Because when you're already dealing with a medical issue or a car breakdown or a job loss, the last thing you need is the stress of how am I going to pay for this? It's the difference between an inconvenience and a catastrophe. And here's the part most people don't talk about. Once you have even a small emergency fund, you stop operating from a place of scarcity. You make better decisions, you sleep better, you think clearer, you're not making choices from desperation. That $500 starter fund, it's not just $500, it's peace of mind, it's dignity. It's the foundation everything else gets built on. But here's the catch. You have to start before you feel ready. You have to start when it feels impossible. You have to start with $10 because $10 is more than $0. And $10 this week becomes $520 in a year. And $520 becomes 1,000 expenses, and 1 month becomes 3 months. It compounds, but only if you start. So here's my challenge to you. Start with $10 this week. Open that separate account today, Set up that automatic transfer tonight, even if it's tiny, even if it feels embarrassing. Your future self will thank you, and I want to hear from you. What's the first step you're going to take? Opening the account, calculating your number, selling something? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to cheer you on. If this video helped you, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more people who are exactly where you were 10 minutes ago, wanting to start but not sure how. Subscribe for more videos like this every week. Practical money strategies. No fluff, no judgment. Just what actually works. One last thing, share this with someone who needs it. We all know that person who's stressed about money but doesn't know where to start. Send them this video. It might be the thing that finally clicks for them. Drop a comment below. What's your biggest obstacle to starting an emergency fund? Debt? Low income? Something else? I'll reply to as many as I can. Thanks for watching. Now go open that account. I'll see you in the next one.